Hi, my name is Kara from the YouTube channel Hey Kara. Today, I'm super excited to be presenting a tutorial on the learning lifestyle and playstyle for Crusader Kings III. We'll be starting as Matilda of Tuscany, a powerful duchess in the Holy Roman Empire. And as Paradox reworked her campaign to be a lot more focused on the learning lifestyle, it's the perfect place to get a feel for and to utilize one of the most powerful lifestyles in the game. We'll be using it to secure Matilda's reign and dynasty, build up a strong power base, and make her the Queen of Italy in just a few short years. Yes, and I'm dressed kind of medievally, by the way. Like this is the best I could do. I don't know. For a quick overview, for learning, it's the lifestyle that does have a lot of scholarly perks and benefits, letting you take some powerful perks such as increasing development rates and even being able to buy claims outright through some legal trickery, I'm sure. While these are all cool, its other two focuses of theology and medicine are incredibly powerful as well. For medicine, it's the best lifestyle for defending your realm from plagues and also defending your character from an unfortunate early death due to old age or illness. The theology focus is especially good for using CK3's religion mechanics at their highest level. If you want your religious leader to like you more for extra money, for claims, etc. If you want to gain more piety for any purpose, sometimes it's useful for wars, sometimes it's useful for other mechanics. If you want to form a new religion, or if you want to reform a religion, there's a lot of discounts that you can get. Or if you want to convert religions, there's also discounts that you can get. There's a lot of reasons why you would pick the learning lifestyle. Now I'm going to go over how to use it to help Matilda of Tuscany survive and overcome her situation in the Holy Roman Empire. As we get started here, we get met with this first event of our mom orchestrating a marriage with this man named Gottfried the Hunchback in order to gain an alliance with the Duchy of Lower Lotharingia. Basically, marriages for political alliances were very common back then, and this alliance is very useful for us because they are a stronger realm in the HRE. If necessary, they can come to our defense, which makes us stronger. However, we don't like this for a few reasons, and the game's giving us some unique options here to throw us a bone. This event's telling us that, for one, Matilda just doesn't like this guy. One of our options is just to murder him and move on. And if we wanted to pick the fourth option for this event and just accept this marriage as it is, the game does warn us against this for a good reason. We have a unique problem as a female ruler. Crusader Kings III is a game that cares a lot about dynasties. When your character dies, your dynasty is sort of the thing that lives on past your character's death, and the dynasty is the thing that you're trying to build up throughout the course of Crusader Kings III. If you don't have any other members of your dynasty able to inherit land after you die, you game over. So if your dynasty dies, then your game dies. So if we had a kid with Gottfried over here, that kid would actually be our husband's dynasty and not ours, which does lead to us gaming over if Matilda was to die all of a sudden. So just remember the general rule that if it's a matrilineal marriage, the dynasty inherited by the kid is of the mothers, and if it's a normal marriage, the dynasty inherited is of the fathers. So that brings us back to this event chain. The option I'm going to go for is this third option, which basically changes our marriage with Gottfried to a matrilineal marriage. So any kids we have with Gottfried will be of our own dynasty when Matilda dies, which is great. Before we unpause, we're going to start by going through all the notifications at the top of the screen. The first two options are paying homage to liege and petitioning liege. I'm just going to skip them for this tutorial, but they can be useful and they involve traveling to your liege's capital. We also have two activities available, the Grand Tour and the Grand Tournament, which I'm also going to skip them on this tutorial. This notification is the game letting us know that we need a dynasty heir. Since we picked a matrilineal marriage, fortunately, this is going to be resolved as soon as we have a kid with Gottfried. This notification over here is just letting us know that we haven't actually picked a lifestyle or a focus yet. I'm just going to pick the scholarship focus and go down this focus tree, since we already have theologian and all of the benefits that go along with the entire theologian tree. The other notification is we are above our domain limit, which refers to our domain number at the top right of the screen. domain. Your domain is the number of titles you can manage. So I will just give out Brescia over here, and we'll just give it to a random Cisalpine noble. This button is the current situations button. It's really good to go over if you just need some guidance on what you should do next. The first thing it's letting us know is that we're not employing a court physician. We can try to find someone in our court, but often it's better to go into the decisions menu and take this decision, search for a better physician than the ones we have access to just sitting around in our court. The other things we can do is ask our head of faith for gold. This is specific to certain religions if you have enough piety and the head of that religion likes you, like Catholicism. So we will actually take this just to have some more money for buildings and developing our main region of Tuscany. The other things it's letting us know about are stationing our men at arms. If we click our men at arms, we can see that they have this notification letting us know that they're unstationed. Stationing them does give them bonuses, and there are buildings that you can build that will give certain men-at-arms types more bonuses. I'm not going to cover that in this video. I'm just going to kind of place them anywhere, because placing them anywhere is better than having them be unstationed. We can also create an accolade, which just gives more perks to our knights. We can also negotiate an alliance, which we will. We can declare wars. The game is letting us know that we already have some claims, like on Duke Robert the Fox of Apulia, which is not inside the Kingdom of Italy, so I won't declare this war. And the game's also letting us know that there is an active election going on in the Holy Roman Empire, but it's not relevant to us since we're not an elector anyways, so we can just ignore that, basically. The last thing we're going to do is make sure that we're swaying the Pope. This will just give us more opinion gain with the Pope over time, and this is especially useful again for asking for claims and for money. So now with all that out of the way, we can let the game progress. We got a pretty useful physician since they're known in scholarly circles, like we have a good learning ability. Since we're marrying Gottfried, we can also collect money from the wedding. Since we have all this money, I'm going to build some buildings in holdings that we own. If you click around over here, just make sure that you're actually making buildings in holdings that you actually own and that aren't owned by a vassal, just to get the most benefit out of them at first. By putting down some fields, we can get some extra taxes. That's what I'm going to do just to get us some more extra income, make an investment with the money that we got from the Pope. After asking for gold, I'm also going to ask for some claims from the Pope. Again, this is based on how much more the Pope likes you than the other characters you're asking for claims from. What you really want to do is look for the titles that the Pope will let you claim that are in the Kingdom of Italy. We can get a couple of claims up front. One of them is for Capua, which isn't in Italy, but it can also be good to declare wars and take some land in areas outside of Italy too if you just want to build up your realm, which is what I will do with Capua over here. To declare war, to press your claims that the Pope gives you, you basically just right-click on the area and declare war as you would for any other type of claim. This area, as we can see, is really small and pathetic compared to us. So this is a safe war for us to declare, which I will go ahead and do right away. If you go over to the military tab on the right, you can see that we can move around this little red banner. This changes where all of our levies and troops raise up. What I would recommend doing is moving it nearby wherever you're declaring on is, and then pressing Control click to group up all of your armies in that one spot. And just by sort of marching our army into the capital and letting it siege out, as you can see, this war is pretty low stress. Just make sure we have someone with the siege leader trait, if possible, leading the siege, as it'll actually shorten the time pretty significantly between when we start and when we can finish the siege. In the meantime, we were invited to a hunt. You will get invited to random things from time to time by neighboring rulers, and it's up to you if you want to join or not. It's easier to join if they're closer to you geographically, just because of the travel distance. For traveling, it can get a little bit complicated. Basically, to minimize your chances of danger, look at your route, see where the dangerous areas are, get yourself a caravan master. This guy's pretty good for us, fortunately. And we can see that there are hills in the way here. We just want to bring along a mountaineer. It'll only cost us a little bit of gold, and it'll make sure that we don't experience any risks during this travel at all. As you're traveling, you'll get random events like this from time to time. This is totally normal as long as it doesn't say danger in the title. There's no real risk of anything too bad happening. And sometimes you can even get some pretty good events too. As you can see, we won our war on the Duchy of Capua for this one county. Again, not too useful for us forming Italy, besides for just giving us an introduction to how we're going to use our claims to declare war on people. After letting the game play, I'm just periodically checking to see if there are other areas in Italy that the Pope will let us claim and that we could declare war on. A simple way to get claims in Crusader Kings III is to use your religious counselor in order to form claims on counties. This is a way to pay some money to get individual county claims. So I'm going to set my person on Pisa and eventually buy a claim once the event comes around, which is useful because Pisa is a part of Italy and it'll contribute to us being able to form Italy once we get 50% of the counties or more. In the meantime, make sure if you have the money to build up your army or to build some buildings in your holdings. Both of those are really good at increasing your power. One other thing that I would recommend doing in the meantime is going on a pilgrimage. I chose to go on one to Vatican over in Rome. You can choose to go on a longer one if you want more piety, but that can also involve going across oceans and things like that. So just make sure that you hire the right travel options. The Vatican's right here, so I decided to just pay the Pope a visit. And with all of this extra piety, there's even more claims and interactions that we can do with the Pope, since each of the claims we're getting does cost a certain amount of piety. Basically from here, it's a pretty simple journey to actually form the Kingdom of Italy. We've navigated things well enough to declare war on Pisa, and since Pisa is relatively weak, that's a war that we can win pretty simply, just by sort of marching our army into the capital and letting it siege out. Only a couple battles we had to fight too. We also managed to ask the Pope for a claim on the Duchy of Genoa, and the especially convenient thing for us in this game, the previous Duke of Lombardy died, meaning that his realm split up more. It'll basically be an easier war for us to fight. And at this point, all we have to do is just win this war by both capturing some holdings and by winning some battles. And all we have to do at this point is just wait just a little bit longer for us to generate enough money so that we can have the 500 gold needed to form the Kingdom of Italy, giving us a very solid base of power. And since we had a couple of kids, this also gives us a lot of security for the future of our dynasty. And so with that, in just a few short years, we have secured our power base, secured our dynasty, and become the Queen of Italy. So that's the learning lifestyle tutorial. It's super powerful and a lot of fun. Make sure to check out the other tutorials in this series to learn the other lifestyles. And thanks a bunch to Paradox for asking me to partner with them on this tutorial. It's been fun.